400,000 subs. That is absolutely nuts. I figured I'd drop a huge video for the Siege community in celebration. Now, I've done a 100 and a 150 tips and tricks video before, and to the best of my knowledge, there are not any duplicates in these videos. We now have a total of 450 tips and tricks just from those 3 videos. Now, these videos take quite a bit of time to put together, so if you do find this useful, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a thumbs up and like the video. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into the first of 200 tips and tricks to get better at Rainbow Six Siege. Now, in at number 1 is an amazing angle that Nico taught me, where you can vault up on top of the central stairs, shoot over a reinforced wall, and get a crazy angle into the back of Hammam. You guys can create claymore nomad traps by placing an air jab in a certain location and launching somebody into the claymore where they have no choice but to detonate it. Now, this trick has actually gotten much easier because now at the time of this video being released, Nomad actually has claymores of her own. You used to have to do this with good teamwork, but now you can do this completely by yourself. Now, if that's not viable enough for you, you guys can use 1 claymore and protect 2 windows by basically claymoring a certain window and then putting an air jab on a second. That way, either window he jumps out, he's gonna get claymored. Easily one of my favorite spawn kills that I've learned on Fortress was from the legend Godly. He figured out that you can jump out from this window, melee out the bottom 2, and you can do a very awesome rotation for easy kills. Now, bulletproof cams really don't get enough love. In this video, I'll show you a few different ones. Let's start out with this one. Title says it all. If you lay down at a certain angle behind the sandbags in front of the main entrance, you can get very easy kills onto aggressive peekers early on in rounds on Oregon. If you know somebody's camping up holding an angle on the main door, you can actually lay far back of the main entrance and get an angle to the top of the stairs straight into the armory. Now, I've seen this one pulled off for both defenders and attackers. It really comes down to who's aware of this angle. You can get a crazy angle through the hatch into the cigar lounge. That can be used either way, no matter what side you're on. Now, most people will come up into the cigar lounge to attack train room, but did you guys know that you can actually bust through the floor and through the wall to get nice angles onto red stairs? This angle right here is amazing for flank watches. Now, tip number 10 and 11 I learned from a Pro League game where both of these setups strained so much time. It was absolutely insane. By the time they finally were able to clear out the alibi setups, they had barely any time left in the round to attack and inevitably lost the round. You'll notice that in all of these alibi setups, you always hide the base of the hologram so that the attackers really don't have a choice. It's either shoot it and get scanned or get your head taken off. And that's something you should always consider when you use alibis and throw their holograms. Now, an angle barely anybody knows about is an angle from the bedroom all the way up to the east balcony on Skyscraper. You guys will be able to go not just through 2 floors, but through the drone hole. Nico's the absolute legend that found this one out. If you're having a hard time landing the shots, a guaranteed way to get a kill on anybody walking by this drone hole is with the C4. When it's thrown from the bottom, it will land halfway up through the drone hole, and from there it's guaranteed kill on people walking by. Vaulting up on top of the computer in archives and then leaning left kind of gives you like a Call of Duty head glitch. You'll be able to take out anybody running by the bus coming from the east spawn. If you guys want to get a little bit more fancy than that, then you can finish the vault up on top of the bookshelf and get spawn kills across the map. Now, after you get that nutty spawn kill, if you're Echo, another way to use a yokai drone is by using it for intel without having it go up on top of the ceiling. This isn't very expected for attackers, and you'll be able to get a ton of intel for your team, similar to Valkyrie. Another awesome spot you can do this is inside of the bank garage. You can actually kind of move it back and forth on the ambulance so that it can't be seen from either side, while you're still going to be gathering a ton of intel. Now, I don't want to show you just one of the yokai spots. One of the best ones, if you're going to use that other one on the ambulance, is going to be up here in the server room stairs in this secret drone hole that not many people know about. You're going to be able to create one of those angles where from the yokai's perspective, you'll be able to see people's feet without them being able to see you. Now, Austin taught me this cool trick on Border where if you throw a lesion trap up on top of this edge where people do the parkour run to drop down on top of the vehicle customs, it will interrupt their run. They will fall off the edge, giving you a free down or kill. If you guys are playing against attackers that are pushing the big garage on Chalet, you guys can create a crazy 3-4 angle going through a drone hole, through a hatch, and take out anybody holding those common angles behind the cars. We've all been in those games where the guy will stand in pixel on cafe for the entire round. Here's a way to completely decimate it. Now, Alan from the Dangleberries showcased this spot. He figured out that you can vault up on top of the black van police car, get angles into the lobby, and also people doing jump outs onto the balcony. One of my favorite mute spots on Consulate is going to be finding the vault prompt on this vending machine and placing a jammer down. This is going to basically create an invisible barrier on the lobby door that's going to completely stop drones. Now again, I don't want to show you just one nutty mute spot because you got a couple more, right? So we're going to be going over into the security room, and this is going to be jamming the floor above on the other side of the lobby door. Now you got a third jammer. This is a great option. You're going to completely lock down yellow stairs. This is a cool angle that you can do by taking out the top corner of the garage on Consulate. You can get angles onto anybody approaching the staircase on the outside of the map. On Coastline, you can get crazy far angles through this wall that are going to go all the way to the back of the Sunrise Bar. Now, if you do spawn on the other side and they're defending kitchen, most likely there'll be people in the bathroom. You can actually shoot through this fence and get angles not just through the bathroom, but also the doorway into the server entrance. A little known fact is that capital bolts can actually go through holes as small as single pistol bullet holes. This is just one example of many areas that you can do this to completely just look like a hacker. This specific spot is also a great mirror counter. Now, don't have capital yet? That's totally fine. This will also work with ash breaches, which is absolutely insane because they're much bigger than a crossbow bolt. Somebody auto-lock your ash? That's totally cool too. It'll also work with Sophia, and by doing this, it's great counters to people bandit tricking. This right here has been one of my go-to cams when I defend downstairs on Oregon. The majority of the time when people enter through this doorway, there's not going to be much time left in the round. You'll be able to get a ton of intel. The new Hereford base is very destructible. By breaking where I do in this clip, you guys will be able to completely lock down this wall and take out anybody that goes to place thermite or Hibana charges, or even trying to make a Maverick breach. Did you guys know that you can actually climb on top of bombs, and you can use this for a couple different reasons? This right here is one of my favorite Evil Eye spots. Now on the CEO office on Bank, you can climb the bomb and shoot over this reinforced wall. Attackers do not expect this whatsoever. If you guys get tired of being too passive with Echo, you can always use his yokai drones by vaulting them up inside of windowsills and going for aggressive spawn peaks. Now inside of the mining room, you can actually vault up on top of this machinery and spawn kill people that are running to their left from the Christmas market. These bullet shots go straight down towards the garbage cans. Now right here is an angle that you can create that cuts off rotations in between the theater and the penthouse. You can do this as an attacker, but I've also seen it done in a Pro League game as a Mira strat that helps them keep top control while they're still defending on the bottom. Here's a cool little parkour run trick that you guys can do to help you get control of the kitchen bakery. Now here's another parkour run along a fence that Dansum Woja figured out. You can use this for a couple different things. The first one's going to be over the reinforced wall towards customs. You can also watch this for runouts on the south balcony, which is absolutely insane. If you guys feel like taking a right instead of left, you can get crazy angles all the way through the stockroom, especially if you guys plant a bomb straight in that windowsill. This spot's going to be very helpful. When you guys breach into offices, stop behind this desk and check out this pixel. You guys might be able to catch somebody rotating from fountain into archives. If they made it into the archives already, you can always go behind this printer/fax machine and get crazy angles through the doorways. Now, if you are holding those angles, you gotta hope the defenders don't have a Valkyrie camera spot in this sneaky location, because then they will be able to get 100% intel on you. Let's get a little bit more fancy. On bank, you can do kind of like a parkour vault up on top of this railing and place a camera in this bush. And once the camera is in the bush, it's very, very difficult to see. The best tips on bank is to not ever look at these posters because they're creepy as hell. Now you can chip out hatches so that they kind of look like they're closed off still, and you guys will be able to use this in a couple different locations to get really, really deep angles. If you guys are on border, this is one of my favorite places to use this hatch trick. Now if you don't feel like doing that, you can always pop out the hatch and place down an evil eye on top of these lockers. This is actually going to give you pretty much the exact same angle as that hatch one, but then by doing this you don't have to sit there the whole time. Because the evil eye is so high, it creates one of those angles where the evil eye will be able to see attackers' feet before the attackers can see it. If you guys want to get a little bit more aggressive with Maestro, inside of the bar is a great option to pop down a really high evil eye, but at the same time do aggressive peeks over this brick wall. Title says it all, you got like 12.5 really tight angles that you can make by peeking your head inside of the gaps of the stairs on Clubhouse. Now if you're droning out garage and you see somebody doing that, you can always take a shortcut with your drone, vault up these bookshelves, and make it onto the catwalk still. This works great, especially if they jam the stairs with a mute. When you guys rappel up on top of the garage, instead of keeping your head just straight left, actually go to the top and then lean left. By doing that, you'll be creating kind of like that Call of Duty head glitch again, where it's very difficult to see. Jackal has a pretty far scan rate. You can actually get really easy wall bangs with Jackal by busting out sections of the floor, scanning the footprints above you, and going and finding where they are at. This is a pre-fire I pretty much will always go for if there's people defending in the penthouse and theater. A lot of times they're not done setting up and there will be people rotating in and out of this doorway. If you guys spawn on the ruins, this is another pre-fire that doesn't get shot enough. These go all the way into the security room and catch a lot of people rotating in and out of the lobby. Now, if you're a defender, you can always lure them into the security room and go into this really cheeky spot.
Every corner, but oh, this is such a tight one, and Fabian puts the spray on and gets the kill.
Now with just one canister, Maverick can create rotation holes. This will work in soft and reinforced walls. But Coconut, I invented that. I've known about that forever. Okay, then go and perfect it inside of a smoke and just completely surprise people and make it look like you appear out of thin air and go and get an ace. Now the Valkyrie camera on this spot is just optional. This is a C4 trap that I do quite a bit at the new clubhouse. A lot of people enter in the cash room. That also does work both ways though, so if you guys are attacking and this wall is reinforced, You can always go below it, look for the crease, and look above. Part of the ceiling is the outside balcony, but part of it is still the interior of cash room, where you guys will be able to take out the bandits, mutes, or Qaids. By busting out the floor at the top part of tower, you guys can get easy kills onto people running by from the construction spawn. If people are just doing a simple spawn peek out of the window on Big Tower, you guys can easily counter it by vaulting up on top of this police car. This is a great camera on bank that's well hidden behind a light that's going to get you great vision of the tellers and the lobby. If you guys want a second lobby camera, this is another well hidden one that's smack out in the open that goes unnoticed quite a bit. Instead of rappelling up on the east hand side of this balcony to look through the drone hole, if you guys rappel up on the south side of it, you guys can actually get angles all the way to where Mira likes to play looking into cash room. Drone holes make great claymore traps, especially if you guys take sight like cash room and then place a claymore down and then the roamers have to retake sight. You guys can vault up on top of this dragon on skyscraper and get really nice angles, especially when defenders reinforce this wall and you do this with the Habana. You're going to be surprising a ton of people. There's a really cool parkour vault that you guys can do into billiards. When you do this, be careful not to destroy the bottom section of the wall because that would actually take away your vault option. As long as you guys have a little bit of the wall left at the bottom, you guys will be able to easily vault in here for crazy flanks. This is a great setup when you guys are defending downstairs in the armory on Clubhouse. This creates a crazy pixel peek into the blue hall. To go along with that shield, you guys can also use this pixel peek once the kitchen hatch gets opened. This is great, especially if you go for that common run out on border. If any attackers come over here to check, they're going to get completely wiped out. If there is a defender behind those desks and they're not holding this angle, you guys can go below them and get really nice nades. A lot of times there's roamers that lay down behind those desks and it can be very pesky to clear them. This drone spot is so easy to do because it's right inside of the doorway. So a lot of roamers are still busy setting up by the time you guys will be able to get your drone up here and keep great intel for the entire round. This is another high success drone raid I do quite a bit because it's right there on the entrance in a very high traffic area. Now the fattest shout out to Nico for the next two tricks. This first one, we're strafing left and vaulting up on top of the freezer. From here you're getting nutty angles all the way through kitchen. Now the next few ones is just a complete rip to everybody in kitchen. Check out these angles. If you're defending, here's an awesome vault up spot that you guys can do to also get angles above a reinforced wall. Now, Nico is just that insane. Check out this pixel that he figured out you can do over the reinforced wall into the bakery entrance. This is an awesome way you guys can rush master bedroom mixed with a little bit of parkour. Gonna be surprising people with how fast you get up here. You guys can also do this from the black police van by running and vaulting at the corner of that balcony. If you lay down directly underneath of the Mira and aim up at an angle, you guys can actually one tap the canister and pop the Mira out with Maverick. Now, a sneaky way to go for some spawn kills, you can leave this door intact and lay down. Look how far out I'm getting without being detected, where the door will still look intact to attackers. And it's very easy to get back. You just turn around, melee it, and you're back inside. If you melee doors correctly, you can actually crouch underneath of them and get complete clearance in and out. If you guys want to just go balls to the wall, here's an awesome parkour run out to spawn kill both the east and the west hand spawns. I like this camera a lot because it's so easy to do and it's on the opposite side of where people will be running from the pool spawn. You can combine this and do safe peeks to anybody that runs left of the pool spawn. Getting a little bit more aggressive, you and a friend could peek out at the same time, one from either side of coastline. This specific one, we're running out of service entrance and getting a really deep angle straight inside of the pool spawn. By vaulting up on top of the weights inside of the gym on Clubhouse, you can get a crazy high evil eye that gets really good coverage of both bomb sites. Now, when you guys defend cash room, a lot of times garage will be reinforced. This evil eye is one of the most creative you guys can do to help you protect that garage wall. This next one's gonna be on Villa. You guys can get up on top of these boxes by vaulting onto them at an angle from the stairs. Got a couple different options. You can place it facing south, or as you drop facing west, you guys can place it so that you guys can get an angle on anybody coming up the stairs. It's so annoying to attackers. This is a great angle to create early on in the round to see if anybody is entering from this main entrance. It's going to be a very easy free kill. This murder hole kind of complements the other one on the main entrance, but this one's going to be an angle that goes really nicely to the red stairs. Another awesome entrance watch is going to be on coastline from the office looking up towards that balcony. The other entrance angle that's very viable is from the sunrise bar looking up towards the hookah door. This evil eye right here is so unexpected. It's gonna help you guys keep that VIP lounge wall safe going into penthouse. When you guys place your evil eyes, make sure they're not on breakable surfaces, because look how easy you can destroy an evil eye if you mess up with its spot. By breaking a little bit of the kitchen wall, you guys can create a crazy angle onto the kitchen window that is going to catch so many people off guard. This first angle we're looking at from White Stairs is going to allow you to get shots through the train all the way to the back of train room and through dining room. If that wall is reinforced, you guys can still vault up on top of this railing, and then from here you can actually be high enough to get angles cutting off the rotation in between dining room and train room. Now, even though the C4 throwing mechanics have changed just a little bit, you can still modify this throw and get a really nice C4 over the reinforced wall outside of the mining window. If anybody's rappelling to attack the bedrooms, you can get nice angles from below in the kitchen. You can also get C4s out here on anybody laying down attempting to get kills through this drone hole in meeting. By lying down inside of the dining room and meleeing out the bottom of the door, this will make it so that it looks like the door is completely 100% intact to attackers that are rappelling on the tower, all while you're actually getting angles right by the garbage cans and getting very easy kills to unsuspecting victims. Now, Alan from the Dangleberries figured out that you can vault up on top of the shooting range rooftop and get multiple different angles into dorms. Now, if you guys like that previous one, check out Dan's angle that he figured out. It's another way to go through Armory and get angles into the dorms hall. By placing this shield right next to this short wall, you can get angles that go through the chain fence, through the hall, and all the way outside towards the spawn. This is one of my favorite new mirror setups inside of the hookah lounge. Now place this shield before you break the hatch. If you open up the hatch and then try to place the shield, you actually won't be able to. Now in front of you is going to be the shield, and behind you is going to be a mirror setup. From here, you got protection on both sides of you. It's going to be very difficult for attackers to push. And if you guys need to make a quick getaway, you can drop through the hatch and rotate around. Now, if you guys like that previous mirror setup, you guys will probably like this one inside of the break room. We're going to be overwatching admin office, and you guys can actually do that parkour, lay down on top of the fridge. Now from here, when you crouch up, you can shoot onto the admin windows, all while, if you need to, drop down, rotate around, or do quick peeks around the mirror. Now also, don't forget, you can rotate in and out of the admin office and break room. You can go literally back and forth by using these vaulting tricks. When you guys use two mirrors in a line on bank when defending downstairs, open up the bottom section of the floor. That way anybody dropping from the open area hatch attempting to take out that close mirror is going to get their legs completely taken off by the person inside the lockers. Now if this hatch gets opened up and there's nobody watching, you guys can run over here and chuck a C4 all the way to the other hatch. This is a really common place you can get multi-kills with one C4, especially if there's people crowded around it. Now if that hatch also gets opened up, this is a really cool evil eye you guys can do. It's a 3-floor one that goes all the way downstairs into CCTV. Also, if you got that evil eye, this is another great server room evil eye to help you guys keep those walls safe from thermite and Habana. Now the TVs inside of CCTV make for great camouflage bulletproof camera spots because the bulletproof camera blends in with the TV mount so well. Now if somebody takes out that bulletproof camera, you don't have to worry because this Valkyrie camera is going to get similar angles. That makes it so insanely difficult for attackers to get. This is one of the best cameras you guys can use in CCTV. This is one of my favorite angles that Nico has recently taught me. From outside, you can get angles onto the main stairs on Clubhouse. This angle also works if you're standing outside of the gym window. If you guys know somebody's hiding behind the bar but not sure where, keep in mind that the bar walls are completely breakable to make them see-through. This camera right here is so well hidden on these black pipes inside of the stage. You can also use jukeboxes for really nice Valkyrie cameras, and the lights on them are blue so it blends in so well. There's also jukeboxes on Chalet and a couple other maps. This particular one on the inside of church makes for a great vault up, not just for angles but for evil eye placements as well. This is an awesome upside down rappel spot on Consulate that's going to allow you to get really nice angles behind white van. Now a lot of people kind of avoid the rappel game, but this is another upside down vertical rappel angle that is so powerful. It's going to go behind Sunrise Bar and take out anybody camping back here. You can get some pretty nasty angles all the way into hookah. There's multiple different options. You can run down, shoot all the way across into aquarium, or have your friend plant the diffuser behind these chairs while you overwatch him from above. If you guys are careful, this is a really cool angle that you guys can do to get shots onto the construction wall. You guys can also do a little parkour drop down if you don't want to run back onto the rooftop. Stock is a really common entrance point on Clubhouse. You can open up this angle from above for easy kills. I know I'm playing as Ash in this clip, but this angle is great for defenders. While you're playing on Villa, this window jumps right into the master bedroom. From below, you can open up this floor and get angles onto anybody entering in. When you guys defend by trophy room on Villa, you should open up this wall. Not only do you get easier angles in between bomb sites, but you can also watch the hall below you. Villa is also an incredibly destructible map. These angles from above completely cut off rotations when they're defending downstairs. This angle is going to be going through the hatch all the way from west balcony. You can get angles very deep inside of the objective when they're defending downstairs in the workshop. Now, if you break the wall a little bit further back on west balcony, you can cut off rotations from anybody coming up the top of the stairs, jumping into small office. Once you're a little bit into the round and you don't need to worry about the window behind you, you can actually create a double wall layer mirror where it looks like the mirror might be closed off, but it's actually popped open and you're still making full utilization of it. This is hands down the best way to take out anybody that peeks into kitchen window on Chalet. Now, not map specific whatsoever, if you guys are Clash, you guys can actually tank claymores by putting it on your back, putting your back to the claymore and then turning around. You guys can completely just eat them and still go for kills. Another trick you can do with Clash is by forcing your claymore to go off in hopes that you're either going to force a TK on the other team or a suicide. You can't actually just simply vault up on top of these rocks anymore, but if you run to the side, you can elevate yourself enough to get yourself on top of these rocks and go for very awesome pre-fires into the kitchen through the trophy room. Once you do that first part, noted figure out that you can actually vault to the other side and get even deeper angles. Watch for runouts onto the balcony and even shoot through the wall into trophy room. If you guys like that crazy far angle, you guys will probably like this one. If you position yourself just correctly after you do the ruins parkour, you can get shots all the way to penthouse. It pretty much goes across the entire coastline map. This one's pretty much only for Glaz, because if you rappel up in this exact location, you can create a pixel that's pretty much impossible to see unless you have thermal vision. Once you have the walls opened up in tellers, try laying down on the spiral staircase. It makes you very difficult to spot. Of course, you have to try not to get picked off from this insane pixel peak. Pro tip, lay barbed wire inside of this doorway. It'll slow them down enough and you can catch them off guard. This is the most insane spawn peak on bank. You just gotta be careful of people that spawn above sewers. This is one of my favorite spawn kills on Oregon. You can get a very safe angle all the way into construction. One reason I like this one so much is that it's so low risk. You barely will ever get countered. While we're at it, let's do a couple more insanely safe spawn peaks. This one's definitely not as high percentage, but just the low risk factor makes it so worth going for. You'll never get countered doing the spawn peak. This next one is from Nico. He posted this one a few months back, but you can actually get an angle all the way from freezer through dining out the window onto anybody running on this path. Now on certain bomb sites, it actually makes sense to place shields like this inside of the doorway. You actually can't walk or crouch through it, you'd have to lay down. When you combine this with something like a mirror watching this angle, even if they are successful in laying down or vaulting over it, they're at a major disadvantage because they're not ready for the gunfight. This specific shield is awesome because it's going to allow you to continue bandit tricking even though you're straight in front of a doorway. If that dining room doorway gets opened up, you can have a friend watch this insane angle through the pipes all the way outside. This is an insanely obvious runout, but it's actually pretty safe because of the way the wall is designed. Once you vault over the railing, you actually can't get shot through this. So there's a point in time where you still will be getting detected, but you can't get shot at. I'm really tired. Do I really need to explain this Valkyrie camera? I think you guys are all pretty damn smart. Okay, I slept for 13 seconds, I'm good to go. I really like this camera because I have it down to a science where I throw it and it lands behind this reflector. You can get crazy good coverage and it's really easy to do once you know how. If you don't feel like figuring it out in a custom game, this is a great one because it simply goes in the back of this light. You can do a 360 with the camera and you have a ton of coverage. This is another option that you guys can do. This type of light is actually spread out around the game. There's one downstairs in the basement of Clubhouse. There's also one in the construction of Clubhouse. This is a great one on border, blends in so well. Once you guys use this in game, you'll be really surprised at how well it works. This is another option right inside of the meeting hall on Oregon. If you guys don't use any of those, try to keep in mind when you guys are playing which walls can you open up so that you can get more bang for your buck with the Valkyrie camera. This is a great example. Either side's protected by a speaker and you still get coverage of 2 rooms. When you guys defend teller's office, open up the floor by the desk. This is a nuts angle you guys can get from the stairs all the way to the ATM's entrance. This is yet again another insane angle. This one's going to be going from open area through the wall all the way to teller's door. Now we're going to be stacking on this one too. This one's going to be going from staff room all the way towards tellers. It's going to be a complete rip for anybody entering this objective. Now the next two are going to be two awesome C4 spots from below. The first one's going to be in workshop. You're vaulting up on top of the table. Now from here you can get a C4 out of the window on top of the vehicle customs balcony. This second option, we're going to be dropping from the table. You're going to be standing on the floor, not on the desk. And from here, you can get a C4 straight into the very, very common plant spot. This is an awesome little parkour jump that you guys can do to get angles all the way out onto the balcony. If you crouch, you can even shoot underneath of this to create angles. This is an awesome little parkour trick that you guys can do on Villa. I know you can simply rappel up here, but who wants that? Let's do the style points, run on the fence, blast through two windows, a wall, and get some awesome parkour kills. Now, if you're playing as Glaz or somebody with an ACOG, you can climb these ruined walls and get angles all the way into the objectives. Now let's do a Call of Duty head glitch with a Maestro camera. We're going to be going over this chair, and from here you're creating an angle over this bin that makes it insanely difficult to see. So you got to do something with your second Maestro camera, so let's go above them and shoot them in the ass when they back up from that first one. Shooting people's feet under castle walls just straight up doesn't work anymore. That was so like freshman year 1 siege. Instead of that, use an impact grenade, you do a YOLO swag run out and shoot them in the back as they run away. This is a cab spot that has worked since the beginning of time. Sometimes it works because the other team is bad, sometimes it works because the other team is just so good they don't expect it. Now this peek onto the tower on Skyscraper is crazy. You literally only see their forehead, and when Nico first showed me this, blew my mind. Alright, rip the people peeking tower, because in one of Godly's videos he showed us how you can get another crazy angle onto it. If you do something as small as like shooting a bullet hole, you can't even see it from the other side. This is an awesome Valkyrie camera that you guys can do by just simply vaulting out of this window and vaulting back in. Even if you're rushing and you miss the camera on the bell or whatever's hanging right there, it's going to land on the wall behind it and it's still going to be super useful. So there's an extra little tower on the new fortress map that defenders can get to if they run outside and you're not detected. This is easily one of the most toxic runouts on Fortress. Alright, now if you're precise enough, you can actually do runouts and balance on top of the VIP balcony railings, and you can easily look down and shoot people coming from either direction. This is one of my favorite Valkyrie jump outs on Villa. And this is one of my favorite Valkyrie jump outs on Consulate. Now, if you jump out of this window, you guys can kill somebody as they go to rush master bedroom on the white van, or just straight up spawn kill them. This is an awesome spawn peek that Godly taught us on Fortress. And this is an awesome spawn rush slash run out that Sergio taught us in one of his recent videos. Now, when you guys defend upstairs on Villa and reinforce the walls, you can actually pretty much block off this hallway from drones, where it makes it impossible not just to drive by, but enter the objective. At the end of classical hallway, you guys will see this cabinet slash desk, and it's completely destructible, and you guys can do multiple different holes for a ton of different Valkyrie options. Now, when attackers start pushing workshop from the east hand side, don't forget about this little crack above the doorway. The mesh netting is actually out of it, and you can easily get C4s over it. A funny way you guys can use claymores in combination with Maverick is by placing the claymore down and then picking one of the red tripwires and just one-tapping the wall with the blowtorch. From there, you're just leaving one very difficult to see wire popping through the wall. Now, while you guys are tricking people with the claymore as Maverick, don't forget about the Maverick trick, where you can completely melt reinforced walls by simply cutting from side to side of the reinforced wall. You don't actually need to cut up and down. With enough practice, you don't ever have to worry about dying from the death trap of that library ladder. Make bulletproof cams great again. For whatever reason on this bomb, bulletproof cameras just completely blend in with it. Now, I made the holes a little bit too big in this example as I go back and watch it, but if you break a little bit lower just in the bottom of the wall, you guys can create nice angles while you're kind of lower all the way from lobby to that kitchen doorway. If you guys don't use that buck grenade trick from before in order to clear security room, this is another option. You gotta be careful as you rappel, but by simply meleeing one single hole in this wall, it's actually pretty difficult to see, as you guys will see. You can safely vault off of the bank garage without taking damage by landing on this generator. I had the option to go back and re-record that since my voice cracked like a 12-year-old, but I'll leave it in for kicks and giggles. Now, I hate getting stuck, getting pushed up yellow stairs. This is a way to just stack on the annoyance to the attacking team. Now, this clip was sent to me by the legend Toastbuster69. He figured out that you can actually push yokai drones with your drone, and you guys will see from this clip that he just fucking claps this yokai drone and makes it unusable by pushing it out with his drone. We're gonna do a magic trick and cut our body in half, and after we check this angle, you guys can crawl behind this vase and make it really easy to drone, figure out what your next move is gonna be. I don't know, this might even double as a cab spot. I haven't had time to test it out myself, but I'm pretty curious. Now, as a defender, you guys can help watch top control by vaulting up on top of the luggage scanners, and you guys can get a crazy angle onto the west balcony window on anybody vaulting into security room. Now, I got this one from Pangu. He did it in a Pro League game, and this camera spot just absolutely works. Now, if you guys are on catwalk or outside, be careful. There's a tiny little crease in the servers that you guys can shoot through. Get some really easy headshots. Now, if you guys don't get smacked by the mirror setup in break room, you guys can create this angle all the way to meeting hall by vaulting up on top of the desk. Oh yeah, the caption took what I was gonna say about this spot. Ah, the banana cam. Yeah, for whatever reason, the Valkyrie cameras just blend in incredibly well with the tops of these pillars on bank. If you guys want to be a super annoying roamer, you guys can shoot out the side of this vertical table, get angles onto the entrance of meeting hall, but also at the very top of the ladder, this shoots all the way into the dorms hall. Freaking Alan from the Dangleberries finds the craziest Valkyrie cameras. Look at this one. Throw this one outside of the hatch. It lands in this vent and it's literally impossible to see, but at the same time it gives you infinite scans. There's pretty much nothing that blocks this camera. It's absolutely insane. You guys can see as the defender, I went outside. I still can't see it, and I'm the one that threw it, and I don't even know where it is. And Alan from the Dangleberries is just the clubhouse daddy. He figured out this crazy nade that's gonna go to the top of the stairs where the Mira is very, very commonly played. This Mira is actually really strong, overlooks cash and construction. This nade's just gonna completely wipe him out. Holy crap, guys, it's the 200th trick. This angle is absolutely insane and it's barely used. I don't know why, because the mining window on Cafe is one of the most common windows to be looking at. All right, encore, I'm gonna be throwing in a bonus one. This is one that we previously did, but it has evolved. You no longer have to balance beam walk and vault from the other side. You can simply vault up and be directly in line of sight to spawn kill any poor soul running from gas station. I love you guys all. You guys are all amazing. I apologize if some of the commentary was a little bit different. I'm a little bit tired. I've been working on this video for quite a while, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I love you guys all. I'll see you guys all very soon in the next video. Peace.